Uh-huh.
Come on, let's go.
No, I mean, this is something your parents left for you, right? So
what? You're part of the family too. Okay? Come on, hurry up.
Welcome everyone to What the Forest. I'm Marie Claire Gould, your host, and today we will be covering Visions Volume 3 with Yuko's Treasure. And with me to cover all of these episodes in this season and Visions in general is my good friend and yours, Hammy. Welcome, Hammy.
Hi, everyone. Excited.
This is a unique one, I gotta say. We are on Tatooine.
Ooh. Oh, I'm so tired of that planet. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, this is great. I like this story, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it was very cute. It was really interesting. So it just starts out with a young kid named Yuko. I could not figure out if Yuko was a boy or a girl.
Yeah, I'm also not sure, but I think and I think there's conflicting online in summaries. In some summaries, Yuko is a boy, but it's fine. We'll just call them Yuko.
Yuko, it's Yuko's birthday. And so Billy's like, we're going to celebrate, but first I got to go to town and sell some water.
Yeah, it doesn't start off on a great note because Yuko is like, please don't go. And that usually in Star Wars means something bad isn't going to happen when a kid is begging you not to go.
Exactly. And Billy is like making like treats and everything. Billy is a droid in the shape of a giant walking teddy bear.
He is so cute. I love Billy. I want a Billy plush.
Yeah, Billy as a plush would be amazing.
And you can tell that he right from the jump that Billy is very sweet and loving towards Yuko and is Yuko's caregiver. That Yuko's I think it starts with Yuko having a nightmare, right? That's how he wakes up to his birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And then Billy goes to town and Yuko decides to follow and get into trouble. In the town.
As a kid would.
And all of this is fine. Billy helps out, etc. Except that Yuko and the little droid that follows Yuko around, I called him the candy corn droid. I didn't really catch his actual name, but he looks like a candy corn to me.
Yeah, it was super cute. I don't think we've seen this kind of droid design before, but it's a perfect little triangle.
Perfect little like cone with like a little eye, like, or a little like lens on the candy corn shape. But these bad guys recognize this droid, and it's brought into them that this droid is a clue to these two people who have gone missing long ago. And Sola offers this information to these bad guys, and the bad guy specifically is named Fox Ear, which is such a cool name. Sola is this little like street rat kid as well, who doesn't have a family, so he's like trying to just get money and get by.
Yeah, and he doesn't realize that these are the bad guys. He's just trying to get ahead in life. So he gets this mission of finding these two folks. So Billy is in town selling water because they need water on Tatooine. Since it's a desert. And so Sola goes up to the bear and is like, hey, do you know these two people? And you can tell that Billy does recognize them, but he says, oh, nope, let me get out of here. And then he runs off.
Exactly. And what I love about the bad guys is that their animation completely reminded me of Inspector Gadget.
Oh yeah, especially Fox Ear too, with his mask.
Fox Ear and the mask, and then like the Twi'lek that helps him. Like she totally reminded me of Brain, how much he like morphs and stretches and squashes. Like I was like, wow, this is Inspector Gadget.
I used to love Inspector Gadget. Okay, that's probably aging us both.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like the cartoon, the old cartoon, not the new cartoon or the movies.
Live action, no, the old cartoon.
So of course this leads to the bad guys finding out where they are, capturing the bear, leaving Yuko for dead in the house. Yuko and Sola decide to follow where they're taking Billy. he is being threatened to be reprogrammed in amongst this. So we get this foreshadowing into them, but they end up following them into this cave-like opening that is very yonic. I'm sorry. They
Yes.
made a yonic ass cave opening, Hammy.
Well, and you know what that means whenever you see a cave in Star Wars.
Oh, they're journeying into the underworld. They're about to go on to a transformational journey. And actually, the biggest note that I made for this one is it is a classic hero's journey, step by step.
Yes, exactly. I'm so glad you noticed that. And as soon as I see a cave, my antenna always goes up when we're watching Star Wars. But
Yeah, they're seeking the treasure which is within the cave, which is the treasure that is within the cave is self-awareness and knowing thyself. But it
Right.
always is treasure in the bad guy's mind. It's power, it's money, it's things like that. And it all ties to the lost mine motif that we see in sacred stories or in historical folklore, like King Solomon's mine. This idea that deep within the earth is something that will give you everything that you've ever wanted. But the hero goes in trying to just find truth and actually ends up finding themselves.
yeah, and that plays out exactly with Yuko.
Yeah. And so they go in, they find them in the situation, and by the point that they've actually been able to like find where they are, they've gone through kind of like deep diving into the cave. You see more of the candy corn droids of different colors working on different parts of this installation. And they come to this entryway that is supposed to be where the treasure is. And
Yes.
they need Billy to open the door. He refuses, so they reprogram him. And the inspiration for this part was that they wanted to make a Darth Bear, which is so adorable. I love it so much. But he
And
ends
actually,
up... Oh, sorry,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, funny enough, one of my friends for one of my birthdays got me a Darth Vader backpack. If you Google Darth Vader backpack, it looks exactly like Billy. So I still have him, and he's like he's big enough to like take up my whole back. He's like a big bear, but he's also a backpack,
Oh,
and he's Darth Vader. It's super cute.
it definitely feels like a Build-A-Bear with a Darth Vader outfit
Yes.
on. Yeah, so he attacks them, and they eventually make Yuko open up the door with her or his or her hand, with
Yep.
Yuko's hand, and it opens it up and it reveals an empty room with only one coin or credit idea on the bottom of it. And they're like, what? The treasure's already gone. They wrestle with Billy and end up getting the helmet off of Billy and saving him from the darkness, right?
Yes. Yuko tries to talk to him to try and get back to his true nature.
Yeah. Exactly. But just, pulling him out of the darkness is what is required. Of course, villains are just heroes who are stuck in darkness. They're stuck in the underworld, and that's exactly what was going on with Billy. He leads them to where the true treasure is, which is even further down than where the villains thought it was. It leads them down to where Yuko used to live. There's a little home. There's a little sort of area with a swing set for a little baby. So even a smaller Yuko. And the true knowledge that Yuko had a family and was loved, and understanding who Yuko truly was. And then oftentimes when you experience that understanding and that harmonization of all of these missing pieces of yourself, you're given new powers. This is a thing in the hero's journey. You're given new powers because I completely forgot there was also a dragon in the upper area that chased them.
Yes.
And that's also very common. Like the dragon in the cave is a very common motif with the hero's journey. But you're given new powers when you actually fully understand who you were and who you are, and like the whole idea of like you are this whole person. You're not just an orphan, you're not just a street rat, you come from people. And So Yuko gets a starship and decides to share it with Sola as this union of self, to say we are bigger than the sum of our parts. You're part of the family too.
Yes, I love it so much. With Yuko, like you said, he was kind of haunted by these nightmares.
Yeah.
Because he knew something had happened to his parents. And I really loved and appreciated that Billy was the one who shared the final truth with him. And you can see Billy like sweeping up his parents' graves, because their graves are down there too. That is the treasure. It's connecting with his parents again. And he says that they were good people, that they were helping provide supplies to the Outer Rims.
Yeah, and so this is now what we can do too, and I can teach you how to pilot, and I can teach you how to use this ship.
And Billy was going to wait until he was grown. I'm guessing his parents were the ones who told Billy to wait until Yuko was grown. But that's often also the case with the hero's journey, that you kind of deny the journey as well.
Yeah.
All of that, that you think you're not ready for it. Then of course you find that strength within yourself to face the truth. I, of course, am going to parallel this to Rey going into her cave, to Luke going into his cave. It's just something that's seen a lot in Star Wars. And
Obi-Wan living in a cave, kind of stuck in his own kind of underworld until he is pulled out by, Leia needing his help in his own story, Kenobi. Like,
Yes.
it is such a common motif in Star Wars, because this represents this psychological underworld, going into your subconscious to understand aspects of yourself. All super duper symbolic, all beautiful, really nails it as a Star Wars story.
Yes, the theme for Yuko is about his family, and like you said, he asked Solo. Solo at first is like, "Okay, I guess you guys are good. Let me go," and he's about to leave.
Like, no.
And then Yuko's like, "No, you're with us. You have a family too. It's us." And then it's just super cute and hopeful at the end too.
Yeah, because telling Solo that he had a family too in Yuko and in Billy is healing that aspect of Yuko at the same time, right? Like, that's like
being able to share that.
Being able to share family is like you're making something bigger than the sum of its parts. You're all alone if you're just alone. You're a family if you're together.
Yes. And so we see that Yuko is able to overcome those nightmares that were haunting them, and it's just really cute. And I'm glad Darth Bear is no more. That we're back to good old Billy.
Billy is such a good protector.
I love that Billy's the one who's like, "Oh, I guess I could teach you." Once they get into the little starship, he's like, "I guess I can teach you how to pilot this now." So
yeah, it's so good. Oh my goodness. Well, this was a fun little adventure. Next time we're going to be covering the Lost Ones, so make sure to come back for that. Hammy, where can people find you if they're looking for you online?
I'm on Twitter at BalancePadawan, and on Blue Sky as Hamsa, Hamsa.
Take care, everyone. Cheers. Thank you for listening to What the Force. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host. Our orchestral music is by Christy Carew for What the Force. You can support the show directly on Patreon at patreon.com/whattheforce. We would like to thank all our patrons, especially those who love and are obsessed with What the Force: Christian R., Adrian, Sarah Joy, Scott, John, In Wild Space, Minky Moo, Derek C., How Rude, Christian Luca, Carly Ann, and Scott C. Support the show by wearing the Force with our merch. Like and subscribe on YouTube, or leave a 5-star review on iTunes or other pod apps. It helps people find the show. You can connect with us on Blue Sky at WT Force, What the Force Podcast on Facebook, or on our website at whattheforce.ca, or our Discord. Links are in the liner notes. Feel free to reach out and start a conversation. Cheers.